Hey, Tom, it's Terry. How are you? Are you ready to chair our meeting? December, what's,
12th.
December 12th? Okay, we'll put you on speaker, okay? I'll put you on speaker now. Okay. Yep, I can hear you. Okay, so Monday, December 12th, and I'm going to put you on speaker phone, okay? Okay. All right, here we are. Hey, Tom, can you hear us?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Tom. Evening, Tom.
Sorry to do the same to you, but it'd take another penny in a tow truck to get me in and out. So anyway, let's get this going. Calling to meeting to order the Town of Waterford Board on December the 12th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. Everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, loud and clear.
So I'm calling the meeting to order. Everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you all.
Yeah.
We're going to town board minutes dated November 14th, 2022, and special minutes dated November 9th and 21st as printed. Any changes, amendments, or comments?
Make a motion to approve them as printed.
I'll second.
Okay, I would like to make a couple of comments, so. On
Do
November,
we have a first and a second?
Yep, and Dale's gonna make some comments.
yeah, last month, we talked about the possible road bond requirements for damage to roads, and Tim had suggested discussing further. Are we gonna do anything with that?
I spoke with the engineer today because he came in. He
Okay,
thinks that he doesn't know of any policies in other municipalities regarding that, because that's very hard to determine.
okay,
But he said he will look into it.
okay, so we'll wait to hear from our engineer for further information on that.
Put that up to next month.
Okay.
And then the new
I
business.
didn't hear you guys, so I'm sorry.
Oh, the town engineer is going to look into that, the road bonding issue for, you know, for if construction does damage to our town roads. Can you hear me, Tom? Can you hear me, Tom?
No,
Okay, try it now.
Can you hear me, Tom?
yeah, now I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we turned the phone around a little bit. And the last item, of new business, was regarding 6721 Spruce. Was supposed to be on the December agenda. I talked to Lee Gravel today. I went up to the property today. They do have a health department placard that it's uninhabitable. And our building inspector issued a citation against the property for broken window and garbage in the yard. And they will be going to municipal court on that. So if anybody's here for that, is anybody here from 6721?
Are you talking about 70? Let's see,
6721 Spruce, Tom.
Yeah, I know exactly. Okay.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be on this month's agenda. Two neighbors had brought it up under new business last month. So should we ask the
Okay.
neighbors if they would like to comment?
So I guess what I'm asking, Dale, how do you want to amend the minutes to reflect that?
We dropped the ball. We didn't get it on the agenda, but it was new business, it's now old business, and I was just discussing it during the minutes because it is listed in the minutes, so. Would you prefer to have us discuss it now, Tom, under old minutes, or have it go to January's agenda?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Which one,
Otherwise,
please?
we're gonna, unless you got a real problem with a minute, let's get through that.
Yeah, it was just that we didn't get it on the agenda, and I didn't want it to get missed without some discussion on it.
But Dale, so noted, and we should put that on the agenda.
Now, if neighbors are here, should we let them speak during old business?
Well, I can go around the hoop on that one too with the county, so. That's the right way of doing it easily. So let's go back to where we were. Do I have someone wanting to approve the minutes?
We have a first and a
Yep,
second,
they've been approved and seconded, Mr. Chairman.
so we have to vote yet.
Okay, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Okay, next item, claims is presented by the treasurer's report. I don't want to draw this out, but I did review it. And Heather, help me out here. My gut feel says we're still great for this year. When I say great, we're still good for the end of this year.
Yes.
Okay, now, if I had to ask you, after looking through the whole report, what is the bottom line of what we have? And I'm not talking about certain reserves. I'm just talking about what does it look like we have in surplus that was budgeted versus the way we're thinking we're gonna come in.
I haven't determined that yet. I haven't had time to go through with the rollover accounts.
Okay, could you do that when you get a chance?
Sure.
I think it would be important for all of us to know after the new budget has been presented, done, and passed. I'm curious how we ended up for this last year, okay?
Well, we won't know that for some time yet because we're always a month behind.
When you get a chance.
Okay.
that's all I'm asking.
Okay.
Okay. Correspondence, I don't have any.
We need
Tom,
to.
read the report.
Tim needs to give his treasurer's report. Tom.
General tax checking, $179,794.99. General operating money market, $984,833.15. Reserve fund, $643,648.97. Undesignated ARPA fund, recovery fund, $180,395.32. We did move some funds to be used in 2023 budget. That's why that's all dropped. But that's undesignated. So that's the report. Everyone fine to me. Reviewing it.
Tim, you heard what I requested from Heather. Could you just review that, please?
Yeah, I can review it, but it's not gonna happen until we get more towards the end of the month. So,
Okay, so we have a motion on approval as is.
I'll make a motion to approve it as is.
I'll second it.
I don't. Call
All
for
in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, now I'm sorry, I skipped correspondence. I'm scared to even ask this, but
Excuse me.
Is there any-
Motion for claims?
They just did that.
The claims was in there? I didn't hear it. That's all.
It's with my report.
There's no correspondence.
No
No correspondence that we have.
okay, let's go to committee report. Police,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. In a review of November's activity, total of 218 calls for service, 123 crime preventions, 55 building checks, 83 traffic citations, 48 written warnings, 2 misdemeanor arrests, 3 OWI arrests, and 3 ordinance violations, along with 2 warrant arrests, 20 incident reports, 12 supplements, and 18 vehicle crashes, 18, and 1 domestic abuse arrest. There were no notable events in the month of November. However, we had a very successful parade on December 3rd, as well as all these snow trail markers went out also on December 3rd without incident or calls.
so where is, I couldn't hear you all, John, I'm sorry, but where is the blip? Anything big that sticks out?
No, sir. Everything was real well for November. I just mentioned those 2 items for December 3rd, which was the parade and the markers for the snow group.
Okay. Questions on that report before we move on
Just a
to
quick
the
question.
request of ARPA funds for the security camera?
Just really quick, Tom, I just had a quick question. I'm just curious where those 18 traffic accidents, does it seem to be consolidated in certain areas or?
Well, we saw an uptick of, I believe it was 3 more crashes in that intersection of 164 and 36. And there's really no excuse or reason why, but there seemed to be 3 more. And the pole went down 3 times, the light pole was severed. So, I don't know, but other than that, what's been really well done was the county's quick response, the state DOT quick response to get things up and moving. So that's a positive that we saw kind of a worst case scenario 3 times over. Consistently, it was fixed quick. So that's good. But yeah, last month we had 11 crashes, or the month prior, 11, and this time was 18. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anything else? So we're going to the ARPA fund. I thought we had already agreed to that.
Mr. Chairman, we have, but can you hear me?
Can you hear Matt?
Yeah,
So we had an initial approval for one of the cameras we'd like to upgrade for the family safe zone, which is, it can be, this camera is a lot more detailed or stronger. We can zoom it in closer. And that's the reason we're coming back for another camera, just one. But we're also looking, discussion had been with some other board members about, and employees about additional lighting outside, which would be the inclusion of 2 more LED parking lot lights. So the camera we're looking at is, with installation and the warranties, it's $1,997.58.
how much?
$2,000. And the lighting would be,
2,000?
Yes,
2,000.
Yeah.
Oh, that, hey, you got enough of your budget to take care of that.
if that's where you'd like me to take it out of, I will, yes.
No, I don't want you to do that. If we got the funds, you guys can make a motion or hold this over, but I certainly would, support it.
Mr. Chairman, I'd also like to add in, which I spoke about, is the 2 additional LED lights in the parking lot. One would be on the south side of the main building, in the area of the hallway or the corner of the meeting room, the east corner of the meeting room outside. And the other additional light would be on the southwest corner of, near the southwest corner of the Public Works building. So that portion of the parking lot. So I don't have a quote on that, but going from the last lights that were installed, I'm just asking for approval of approximately $1,100, or approval of $1,100, which should cover the cost.
Okay, what I am suggesting, Tim, you get with the chief and go through this and then make a recommendation and we'll go from there. How's that?
Well, I'll simplify it. He's got 14,288 left in his police capital expenditures. You have any more invoices coming in the next 2 weeks?
What?
How much? He's got money left in this year's budget.
I just already submitted several thousands for our
You know how
annual
much?
recertifications.
Well, it would be in the listing, but I don't have it broken down by code in the listing.
Okay, what else we got for, police?
I didn't hear you
He's
there.
asking what else we have for police. I want to move on to action. item. If the chief wants to do it, I think he gets the money in the budget right now, from what I'm saying. Okay. We don't have to touch on it.
Okay, I'll take it out of my budget.
Okay, Michigan Fire.
Good evening. Just make it kind of quick tonight. Total of 48 calls, 18 fire, 3 of them were mutual aid to other communities outside of Racine County. 30 of them were rescue runs. We just completed our in process of completing our ISO audits.
You guys are doing a sidebar here. What? We're moving on to Michigan Fire and Rescue.
Yeah,
He was talking.
chief is
Chief
speaking.
Miller was talking, he was giving us the,
We'll get him a microphone.
Thank you.
thank you, Chief.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear him now, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Just starting back at the beginning, total of 48 calls for the month, 18 of them fire, 3 of them were mutual aid outside the county, 30 of them were rescue runs. We're in the process of completing our ISO audit. ISO regards to insurance rating that impacts homeowners and businesses with their insurance ratings in the community. Once that information has been released, I'll present that to the board, but that's a pretty in-depth audit as far as equipment, manpower, training, so on and so forth. That also allows us to count other people or other municipalities' equipment within up to 10 and 15 miles away from us, as long as we can support that information with automatic gate agreements, so on and so forth. So with that being said, our neighboring communities help us out significantly with that, having agreements, and so on and so forth. We have 4 people completing fire classes this month. Should be completing the fire 1 portion of their training. We have 2 of them in degree processes currently. We're hosting TRA classes, the Technical Rescue Awareness class. It's upcoming Saturday. We put that out through Gateway, sponsoring that through Gateway, bringing that to their community. We're currently in process of taking a company officer leadership training. It's approximately 8 weeks. We have a host of people in the class. That's why I'm a little bit late tonight. I gotta go back and attend that later. We'll take it back. We are also hosting a DNR snowmobile class up at the firehouse. That should be completed within the next couple of weeks. That's being held 1 night a week. The sign up for that is through the DNR website. There's also a hazardous material for rail. This is a class that we've been having people attend this fall. Actually, that should be about it. We attended the Waterford Parade, went out pretty well. A couple incidents right at the beginning, but we handled very well. We had 4 apparatus in the breed also.
Thank you.
Chief, I got 2 questions. Can you hear me?
Sir, yes, sir.
The ARPA funds that you were gonna use for equipment, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all taken care of in the mill?
Chairman, at this point, we retracted our request for the ARPA funds. Initially, we did receive the ARPA funds for defibrillators and AEDs. They were placed on order. I did check on the status, updated them. Tentatively, at the end of March, we will receive that equipment in. I believe the police department should also receive their equipment in roughly about the same time. We're working with our vendor to potentially get us some loaner equipment, just for the fact that the existing equipment we have now, we're running into issues with supplying the consumable products that we need for them. So the products are becoming very scarce. So with the agreement with new equipment, they're willing to provide us with loaner equipment at no charge to make sure that we get through and be able to provide the service.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up, Heather, I guess, is we need to know what we have left in those funds. I can look at your spreadsheet, I saw it. Let's make sure we don't let it go by the wayside. And then the second question, Chief, is, has there been any, and I certainly don't want to use the term revenue, let's use savings for Station 2 not being utilized now?
As point of clarification, Station 2 has never changed status in the 31 years I've been here. There's always been equipment housed there, responding out of there, which will continue to be responding out of there and housed there. So as far as the expenses, as far as the building itself, I would project and I would recommend maintaining a budget to keep that facility available. If we would use that location, as far as on the west side, that's going to directly affect responses throughout the town.
You answered my question, okay?
Thank you, sir. And as far as,
Anything else, Chief?
and as far as other ARPA funds, after speaking with Chairman Zelinski, we may reapply or re-request them at a later date, but as of right now, we do not have any requests out there for any additional ARPA.
And what is your, I am gonna ask another one. What is your present staffing versus 6 months ago, a year ago?
Since last year, we brought in 16 new members. Our staffing right now is 46.
Thank you, Chief. Anybody else?
No,
Okay, WMD.
No, what you missed.
Waterford Fire's here to
We have
give their
Waterford,
report,
right?
Tom.
Well, that's what I thought we just had.
No, that was Michigan.
Well, good evening, everyone. I thought this would be a good opportunity to introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Fire Chief Kevin Haifman. I'm accompanied with our Assistant Chief, Eric Rosina. We've been about a month into the contract between the town and village for EMS services. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to provide you with some information as to the calls that we serviced. I handed out the sheet. If you don't have one, I have some more. Let me know. Basically, we serviced 15 calls within the town. 6 of those being EMS related, 4 of those being BLS, 2 of them were paramedic level transports. I'm also here to answer any questions if you have of me, and just let you know that in the future, I plan to have Assistant Chief Rosina here to answer any questions as far as calls for service for the town. Any questions of me?
I do want to say thank you for the invite for that training.
Oh.
We attended the training with Waterford. It was great training. Got a lot of responses from our people. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for allowing the members to come. We did combination training on some basic fire evolutions. Rochester and Michigan was there, so thank you for attending. And if there's no other questions, thank you for your
Thank you
time.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I want you guys, one of these days, to go out front and hug each other and take a picture.
Got it, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, so thank you, thank both of you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Tim, can I go now?
I'm not by yet, so now WMD,
Well,
yes.
they slipped that one in on me, I didn't. Okay, we got the WWMD.
I don't know if anybody's here.
I don't think they're here.
Nobody's here from them.
Well, nothing's happening on the water, I can tell you that, so. Park,
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Kenny,
I have nothing for the park at this time.
what about road department?
Okay, road department. I don't know where to start on the road department. We did have a car versus plow truck incident on Friday. Truck is running yet. Gonna work with our insurance company. Then they're gonna take care of it. Then they work with the other person's insurance to take care of the deductible. Got a call out to them. They're gonna call me back and get them yet, maybe even as close as tomorrow. So get somebody in to take a look at it. There's damage to the fuel tank, the step, brackets, a road tank, tire and rim, and fender. Depending upon how long it takes, it may take a long time to get fixed, but we may have lived it by to get through this year yet. We'll see. Fuel tank is really thin where it was hit, but that can still be patched. I don't know how long it takes to get fixed with the insurance company, how long we can delay that. We can delay it till spring, that'd be even better. That's all I have for that.
Okay, Kenny, help me on the 2 items. Funds for the backup generator and the 1-ton pickup.
I know a lot about the backup generator, but Supervisor knows more about it than I do.
We had Adams Electric come in on Friday to see what size generator we need. Basically, they're recommending a 24 kW air-cooled unit, which is the same as the 2 units we have, one powering the town hall and one powering the sanitary district. The price for that would
Okay,
be,
now, okay, I'm sorry to cut you short.
no problem.
You're saying stationary at the town, but that's what it would service.
It would be right outside the DPW, right where the gas meter is.
Okay,
And would be automatic, so if we lose power, it would go on roughly within 10 seconds. It would power everything in the building. A couple of things would be on load management, so they wouldn't come on right away. So you wouldn't have the end rush, but it would power the heaters, water heater, also the air compressor and the welder. So in case we got to use something during emergencies, we'd be able to power all that equipment.
and what about the police department?
They're already on the one here, I believe, that powers the town hall.
Yes,
Can you guys check on that,
it is.
Matt?
He's shaking his head.
Yeah.
They're powered by it.
So Tom, this would just be the one just for the DPW building.
Yes.
Okay, so what you're telling me, it would be one system taking care of DPW, sanitary, and police, correct or not?
No,
This would be a system taking care of the DPW, much like the ones that are used for the town and the police department already.
I guess what I'm requesting is someone take a look at how that power is going to be switched and or distributed from one to the other.
Tom, the DPW runs on a whole different power grid than the town hall. They're on their whole own system. That's why they need their whole own generator, their own generator.
But that's why I'm asking
Okay.
it, because I just heard the police is one, DPW is another, then we have sanitary.
Yes.
What are you gals gonna do?
We share with the police.
Take lunch?
Yep,
they share with the police department.
No, I'm just saying, we should look at the distribution of how those generators come on and what they're doing. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, what they do now, they have two separate units.
No,
One,
we don't need to get into
Okay.
detail.
okay,
I'm just saying, just make sure we look at it, that's all.
all right. And the price of it would be $12,654.79. Which includes the
Yeah.
insulation, the transfer switches and everything. If we,
I'll take care of the 59 cents. Okay.
if we do it this month, they actually, Generac has a promotion going on where you get a free 10-year extended warranty.
That's the only bid we have, because our policy says it's 3 bids.
Yeah, I just got this, just called them in because they're the ones that put in the other two.
and last time we did the other two, we could not get anybody else to come in.
Okay,
Nobody
let's
else wanted
get
to.
through, 1-ton pickup. We didn't talk about that.
Okay, you want me to start with that, Dale? Okay. I
Well,
talked to
no.
most of the supervisors on that already. The state bids for the 1 ton was released and opened on November 21st through December 23rd. But they had already closed the bidding this past Friday. So I had to go on Thursday to preliminary order one to get it on the docket. I can cancel it anytime, but if there was anything past last Friday, I would be on for another year. We may open the bids again, potentially in the summer, but don't know. I don't know how long that takes.
You just take Dale with you and then he'll make sure you don't pay 5 cents more, so.
Well, and then the equipment itself, that's a separate price for.
Oh, no, we're not, what,
That's just the that would be the chassis. That's under the state bid. Equipment's under a different
What
price.
size chassis is this? This is that Ford 600
Or
series? we're talking,
600, yes.
Which is almost like a 2-ton?
That would be GVW of 22, and our old one we have now is only 15.7, I think. It's pretty low.
But they don't need a CDL to drive it though, do they?
And we don't need it. The
that'll
person
take
doesn't
me
need a
up
CDL
out
to
of
drive.
the truck and get me out. So,
Did you have a price on that,
okay,
on the
Well,
chassis?
the total on that is the chassis would be 57.9, which that's with including the municipal discount and the plow dump and Souther. Total is 97.80 for both. That's not a bad price for what it is.
9,700.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's, like I say, that's only a soft number. The steel pricing for the setup is only lasts 30 days.
Yeah.
And the equipment's out about 22 weeks. So we'd have to order that same.
if we have to approve something, then we'll take care of it.
So right now, the soft number is 97.8.
Yeah, I'll
97,000.
remember that tomorrow, and I'll be calling.
So that doesn't.
Okay.
add up.
Okay.
Well, that's just, we can't roll this over to another month.
Yeah, we have to decide in December. What's your deadline, Ken?
It's Friday.
We did it, right?
Last Friday.
We should have a special meeting prior to that.
Carrie, we're moving on, Board of Health.
We didn't,
Okay.
We have to act on the two items yet.
No, we didn't need to act on those.
here we do.
Well, I think we do. Do we want to buy the generator with ARPA funds?
No, I thought we already said we were gonna buy that with the ARPA fund.
But we didn't vote on it.
We just need to vote on it. So I'll make
Okay,
a motion,
make a motion and vote on
I'll make a motion to purchase the generator with the ARPA funds.
I'll second that motion.
it. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I oppose.
Which I can say.
And
We don't have
wait in
other
line.
budget.
I don't like rushing things.
And what about the pickup?
Yeah, that's gotta be decided on pretty quick.
What was the vote on that last vote?
That's an update. There's nothing on the agenda that says making a motion.
Well, time is of the essence on this, though, as Ken tried to,
Yeah, time is of the essence, yeah. Otherwise, right now, the way it looks, may not even get it by next year. So if you wait another year, it'll be 3 years out.
Well, I'm fine for calling a special meeting for that, because I've got no numbers presented to me, nothing, just what the dollar amounts you're
Yep,
telling me.
it's just, I got the state bid pricing
So
and
you're saying it's 57,900 for the chassis and stuff like that?
Yep.
And you said 9780 before, you're telling me this whole truck's costing 60 grand? There's more than that, right?
No, he said
the
97.
equipment alone, with the dump, plow, and salter, and put on is 39,900.
And you never
30.
mentioned that number.
I didn't, I wrote. 39,900. And then the chassis itself is 57,900.
for a grand total of
97,800.
97,800.
Why do I have to make things so simple? If you're taking a truck that we're replacing, maybe I'm wrong. What is the value of that? Then we have the new truck. What's the value of that?
The old truck we are replacing is 36 years old.
Then it's the
And we don't even know what you can get for that truck. We're gonna get as much as we can. Could be 3 grand, could be 4 grand. That's about max on something like that.
Which truck is it? Is it the other pickup or is it one of the big ones?
It's our flatbed.
Well,
Old military
that's
truck.
The one that you don't have any prices on the old truck.
We don't know what we can get for it until we put it out for pricing on military surplus or government surplus.
So
It's gonna be a minimal price what we get for it. Hear that?
So I have nothing that we need, in my opinion, except for the generator. That if you folks want to make a motion, we can do that right now.
I'll make a motion, we spend the 57,900 for the chassis. And then after that, we'll have to look at what the equipment's gonna cost for it. Only because we've got
We're talking about the
over a year
generator.
lead time.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
I'm gonna oppose it, so you guys can do what you want. I'm opposing it because again, it's rushed through.
But
I understand what Kenny's saying.
What's the
But I- you know,
timeline?
he's already ordered it.
The timeline was supposed to be
But we can't
1
cancel.
month.
You
But the
can't
orders
cancel
come in
it
heavy.
again. Why do we have to rush production right now? You got it ordered.
So,
Municipal bids only come to municipal first, then to general public.
Yes.
Once they close municipal, we can't get on that
When
list.
did you get notified by this? You said November something, right?
It was, by the time we started to look into this, it was at the end of November. And they canceled it just already on Thursday. I found out they were gonna close it on Friday.
But again, okay, in November, so not November 15th, November 7th or anything?
No, they closed it Friday.
Well, I know when they closed.
Yeah.
When did you first find out about this open bid? The date?
It was 20-something, 25th, I think, and I found out actually when the bids came out. Most people have their budget set, so once this comes up at that time, then people get on that list. We were just a little bit behind.
I'm not gonna, I wanna see the paperwork on it. I'm gonna vote no. You guys know that right now.
So could we
That doesn't do any good over there, Kenny. It's on my hands. I don't want to know.
call a special meeting like quickly? It's very soon.
You got an order already. To be point, you already ordered the chairs. We can cancel if we don't like it. I'm not gonna spend $97,000 without seeing.
That's
details.
why I just made,
But I just
it-
learned the other day, our other check we put a plow on it.
that's why I said just for the chassis. After that, the equipment, we need to look at that.
Right.
Of course, we have a lot
Well,
of
but
time.
either way, you're buying a truck.
Yeah.
What's the discount on the chassis, Ken, with this municipal?
You
It's
got
not
it.
quite as much as the
Together
backhoes and
right now,
loaders.
okay?
Typically, it's about 24%.
Yeah, so that's substantial savings.
There's, the general public can't touch for anything we buy.
Get everything together and we'll figure it out. And if I have to do it, I'll do it myself. So we're moving on.
There's a motion and a second, Tom.
That was the backup generator.
No, Dale,
For the chassis.
No, that was to purchase the chassis for 57,900.
Well, I say no.
Call for vote.
Oh, somebody called for a vote.
okay,
I'll call for it.
a motion second. I voted no.
I'll vote aye.
Aye. But it's already ordered.
Well, yeah, but that's why we don't decide.
So can we get done what we need to get done in the next few days, so we can just move on with it? Can we?
It's only for the chassis right now. You know, you got
It
it's two,
doesn't
two.
have
There's a tiebreaker.
to be the next meeting.
It's ordered. I'm
Dale
saying no right now.
and Kenny can sit down and figure all these numbers out, present it to the appropriate people, make a decision, and we're done.
We are.
Ken has presented figures.
There's a 2-to-1 vote right now.
It's
Okay.
2-2 right now.
Tom
Well,
voted
she
no.
didn't vote.
So the motion was for the, just the chassis,
Yes.
work the equipment out later. The second, I vote aye for
So we need the chairman's vote on the record.
He voted no.
The chairman voted no?
Mhm. Yes.
So it's 3-2, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know enough, so I'm not gonna. Okay, we're moving on. I'm losing patience. We haven't figured it out. Now I really will. Board of Health.
Board of Health in November, we had a Great American Smokeout. 7,000 Wisconsin residents die annually from smoking related disease. We're also looking at vaping associated lung injury, especially around with young kids, high school kids, the additives that are put in those things. Not good. Fentanyl, we're having a lot of problem with ODs with fentanyl. There's Narcan available at Walgreens in Waterford. It's also given away free at the Racine County Human Services for people who may need it. There was a some kind of weird hepatitis outbreak in young children over the summer. They seem to have realized that it's brought on by a co-infection. Cases are really dwindling now. They thought at first it was something from COVID, but it turns out it was co-infection with 2 different viruses going on and some genetic predisposition. So that's kind of going down. I know monkeypox was a big thing for a while. That's very low risk to the general public. It's only for certain groups who engage in specific behaviors that it's really a threat to. Flu shots might even be too late. I don't know who hasn't had the flu yet. Everything's been going around. We're being hit with COVID, we're being hit with RSV, we're being hit with the flu, we're being hit with strep throat. All that stuff's going around. One of the schools, right in Muskego, they had 20% of the population of the school out this last week. Bunch of stuff going around. Take care of yourself and try to stay away from large crowds. Cold weather safety, check on people who may have, issues with heat. I know people can dial 211 if they need help with heating their homes and other assistance. And a carbon monoxide, make sure you have a carbon monoxide detector
in your home. That's been an issue around the state as well. And I have just some information with tobacco facts and things like that that can be in the office for anyone who wants it. That's the end of my
If I
report.
got point, so if I have 0.5, is that good?
0.5.
I'm kidding you. I don't have
Carbon dioxide or what?
a clue what that- I don't have a clue what you were talking about. So. Okay, I only have one question. Is the new guy working out okay?
He's absolutely wonderful. He answers all my questions.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
No.
Okay, next item, town planning. We only had one item, which I've seen at least 6 times, which was the new quarry across from, close by our stump, actually. It's been through the county twice, been through the town. It's gonna be Payne and Dolan, so they know everything they have to do. So that was approved by the planning commission and it was approved by the county. So I would like to make a recommendation slash no, just somebody make a recommendation to approve that item that was on the planning commission.
I'll do that, Tom. That's item number 5, the rezone for D-Back, Payne and Dolan, formerly known as the Progress Pit, 7512 Northwest Highway. Brianna Buckholz, Payne and Dolan was present. Attorney Dubus indicated that he believed there are 1 or 2 pits that promised a lake lot in the town. Once the pit was reclaimed, Attorney Dubus stated that Supervisor Garcia did not believe this was one of the pits, and that was Parkview in Rochester that he was referring to. Supervisor Garcia verified that this was the last of the property to get reclaimed, and the rest had already been reclaimed, the Schrader Sanchez portion of it. So Commissioner Garcia motioned to approve the rezone from M4 back to A1, seconded by Commissioner Lewitt, vote taken 5-0, motion carried. I'll move to approve the rezone of DeBeck, Payne and Dolan, formerly the Progress Pit at 7512 Northwest Highway, from M4 to A1.
I'll second it.
Is there a second?
Yes, I
Yes.
second
Tim
it.
second.
Kim did.
Well, I didn't hear everything, so I'm sorry. Okay, any discussion on that?
Yeah, I'd like to make one little editorial. If Larry Gabriziak is listening by phone or on Zoom, this is the pit that was supposed to be temporary about 30 years ago to repave Highway L. And Larry, this is finally reclaimed after all these years. So just for your information, if you're listening.
Okay, before we vote on that, I want to make sure everyone understands, because it's coming up next, is we are changing the ordinance as far as the amount that these people give us on an annual basis for one of these operations. And this was all approved prior to this, so I personally do not think that should be included this year in their fee.
Yeah, well, actually, Tom, this pit is shutting down. This has been reclaimed, restored, and it's going back to A1. So this pit will not be operating in the future.
Or they won't even be operating by then.
Correct.
No.
It's total
We're done. It's
reclamation
done.
on both parcels.
Okay, I didn't want to slow things down. I think we had a,
You got a first and a second.
Yes.
First and a second. Everyone in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Okay, old business. We've got, he had me totally confused. Short-term rental and ordinance 11419. Essentially, this is revising like where you store your boat, or and it really has no impact on what we're working on, which is the short term, I'll call it, rental agreements on a property. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody say something, but I think that's how I sorted through this.
Mr. Chairman, this is regarding people using their properties as, say, Airbnbs, rentals.
There's two ordinances.
Yeah.
One is the short-term rental, which you folks have had for some time. You made your changes to it. The second one, referred to as 11419, is our old short-term rental, where we removed parts that are in our new short-term rental, but kept the part on trailer parks, mobile home parks, and whatever. So that's really not a change at all. 11419 is an elimination. The rest, the part that was eliminated is now in our short-term rental, which this board has gone over, I think, more than once.
Did you hear him?
No, I discussed this with the chairman this morning. I think, Dale, you've looked at them pretty extensively. And
Yeah, this is a fairly thorough ordinance. It covers most everything for short-term rentals. Last month, we had Brent Ford here, and he was all in favor of regulating and so I think we've got a pretty good ordinance here.
that I tried to address the fire department's concerns too, to include them in that ordinance.
Has this been posted for the public to see and review it?
No, again, it's just an ordinance. In other words, it's not posted in advance.
Well, this is gonna affect a lot of people that have these.
But we can't, we don't,
That's true.
It is, so.
But we don't
last
post
month it was
drafts.
on there. I mentioned when I was chairing for 2 months, when I was chairing the meeting, that we get this done and bring it back. We give time for public input on it before we make a motion to do it. But I'm not reading this on the agenda here. It's saying discuss on possible
because they've been,
action on it, but
they've made multiple changes after talking with residents, I know for sure. But
Yeah,
well, I don't know what residents
fine.
it was talked to, whatever. I know the fire department had to be involved. Dale, you were part of it.
correct.
Were residents.
well, you guys need to vote on a final draft for you to produce
I'm fine
at
with that,
a meeting.
There's a draft
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so.
Because there's been a lot of changes, I think, in between then and now.
But I
But yeah, you said you wanted to have a public hearing, but that has to be scheduled and everything too.
If you're gonna hold up on this, you have to hold up on both ordinances.
that's what I thought.
You have to. You can't go without the other.
Tom, the fire chief had his hand up. He had a question.
I don't even know who initiated this.
Well, this came up after a complaint.
Multiple complaints.
Beach Drive a number of months back, and it was discussed that we should develop an ordinance, and our old ordinance didn't really address short-term rentals as such, so it needed to be updated, so we've been working on it for several months. Mr. Chairman, the chief has his hand up. He'd like to make a comment. Chief Miller.
Dale, I'm gonna give you kudos. You did your homework. I talked to King County Health Department today. Keith, I believe his name was.
Yes. Keith Hendrickson, correct.
Correct. I also spoke with Ted from the State Department of Agriculture and Commerce and Regulation. Department of
I
Agriculture.
personally think you guys have more to work on than this.
The
That's okay.
Department of Agriculture's department truly that regulates short-term rentals. They delegate their authority over to the health department to do their inspections. And basically, the health department does annual inspections, and every 3 years, they have a higher level of coming and do the an inspection of each property. So ultimately, the health department does most of the work as far as regulation in regards to enforcing the state statutes.
What if you could speak more into the mic? I don't think the chairman is
think
picking
down
up,
here.
Bill. If you could speak a little louder after the chairman, could you please?
So what I'm saying is with the Department of Agriculture, they're the one that governs and regulates this through the state. They delegate their authority down to the Racine County Health Department to enforce and do the inspections. So I asked the health department about short-term rentals. Are they gonna have the means to do all these inspections of all these short-term rentals? He kind of chuckled. He says, we're kind of busy. Ironically enough, do you know how many short-term rentals the town of Waterford has in it?
About a dozen.
One. 6417 North Tishner Road. That's the only one that's in complying with the Department of Agriculture at this time. One property. So the question is how are we going to identify and enforce and make sure that these people are going to be compliant? Because currently the state statute says they're supposed to be, but we have one.
Well, I know that they've been identified by people in the town.
100%. Well, I'm just saying that this is a bigger issue and kudos because the ordinance is truly going the right way. We have to protect our people in our township. Not only the people that are renting, but the people that are living next door and have to deal with them as a police department, fire department, ultimately the township. So it's a multifaceted. So I agree, we do need to have an ordinance in place. You know, does it need to be done right now? We're truly one property being affected right now. Do we need to get one in place to make sure everybody else is in compliance? Absolutely.
And the other 10 or 11 properties need to get their licenses, so.
100%.
So they need a license from Racine County Health Department and the town if this ordinance passes.
Thank you for your work on this, Chief.
Yes, thank you, Bill. Thank you. Yes.
So good evening, I'm Tom Rachkowski.
I think let's go in circles again.
There's a resident that wants to talk, Tom.
Yeah, good evening, board. I'm Tom Rachkowski, 6751 North Michigan Road. A couple things on this topic. Number one, I want to commend the board for moving forward, as the fire chief has just indicated, on the importance of this ordinance. As a property owner, I feel it's critical. I know that there are a lot of these properties in the town, whether they're being reported or not, I don't know. But I think it's important to move this forward. So I hope it continues to move forward. I had a couple of questions in terms of the draft that was presented at last month's meeting and the one that was presented with the packet for this month's meeting. First and foremost was, it seems as though the stipulation about a 6-night minimum for these rentals was eliminated in the current draft. And I'm wondering why. Because I feel that's a very, very important element of this ordinance.
Well, I can explain that. We had drafts from about 4 or 5 municipalities, as well as the town of Towns Association draft document. And there was only one township that had that less than 6-day requirement. So I think we did it just to make the definition of a short-term rental simpler. And that is what the Towns Association uses to rental of less than 29 days or less as a short-term rental.
So it could be 1 day and would still qualify as a short-term rental.
Correct.
I, as a resident, I would be against that. I think that that's too lenient. And I think that there should be a minimum of 5-6 days for these rentals. So I'm just gonna state that. Secondly, just a question, as you guys move these kinds of things forward, in trying to look at what was presented in November and what was presented in December, I'm not a lawyer. I'm trying to weed through this to figure out like what changed. And it was noted, a lot of things have changed. And I'm wondering why isn't a red line of these kinds of drafts presented so that it's easier to interpret how this work is evolving as you all are working to get to a final draft.
Practically, that'd be very difficult. We've never adopted that procedure. I mean, that request has never been made before. I'm not saying you're wrong, but we just haven't done that. And produce red lines, so we're gonna have controversy on what should we go back to the red line version? Should we take the old one? I guess a situation like this is a very complicated ordinance. And so you're just gonna have to read it, that's I can tell you. I can't tell you anymore.
Okay, well, and again, as a resident, I'm trying to read it, I'm trying to understand the work of the board and how this is evolving, because I feel it's important. If I just have to read it and word by word, line by line, have the two copies next to each other, okay. And then my last question, kind of going to Supervisor Sislinski's comments, was, the recommendation that this actually get a public hearing before it is approved in whatever form that is. Is that public hearing going to happen?
I didn't get these copies.
Sir,
I
this
speak my
this
mind.
is Tom. Take that copy, mark it up, give it back to us, and we will review your comments. Is that okay?
Who are you referring to, Tom? To the gentleman speaking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well. My
It's
suggestion.
not gonna happen tonight, so. Show us what your issues are.
Yes, and I can do that, and I have no problem. So thank you for the opportunity to do that, and
Well,
I'm
it'll
happy.
take you 10 minutes, so just do that. Give it to the girls, then we will review it, okay?
Okay, as noted, it's a complicated ordinance. There's a lot to it. There's a
That's
little.
all I want. Just make it simple for people like me.
I'm trying to get it simple for people like me. So that's all I'm saying. So just real quickly, and I'll, let it go. Regarding the public hearing, will a public hearing for this actually happen?
The public hearing got to be called by the chairman or two supervisors.
We do not need a public hearing to revise an ordinance.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think we've ever done that
The
before.
facts and the reasoning. So that's what I'm asking you to do, is why you want to change the existing ordinance, mark it up, and we'll review it.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna say, then why don't we post these 4 documents or all this online so people can pull it out off our website, mark it up, give it to the girls, because we are involving fees here. We've never had fees before. And I think the people that own these rights should have a right to come to us and say, hey, a $500 one-time fee for the property and $250 annual renewal, they should be aware of that. It should affect their bottom line. Same thing with the quarterly room tax that affect these rental things too. They may not be aware of that right now. This is all stuff that was done with Dale, the chief, and Dubus, and us reading it here. It's gotta get out in the public so they know what it's gonna cost them to have a Airbnb or whatever those other ones are. You know what I mean?
Right, there are questions on both sides, yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta come back from both sides. People are there for these. We can't make them go away. They're stuck. There's no way we're gonna get rid of these things, but we
So how
gotta
many
control them.
people- I'm not there, I apologize. How many people, constituents that you have are sitting there next to you wanting to speak about this?
I'm guessing 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah, we have a
2 or 3.
few.
There's a
We
few.
have a few, and then I've heard from people's
I'd like to
emails
notice,
and
yeah.
phone calls as well.
How many people are here on this ordinance tonight?
All you have to do is get that group together, make your changes, and we will review it. Now, how simple can I make it?
Well, we kind of did that last month. Grant Horn was here and he said it was good. We made a few changes this month. When are we gonna get a final draft? And we're gonna have it open for comments for January. And then bring a new draft for January, Tom?
Yeah, that's fine.
So if you could get those comments to us. Let's see, when does the agenda get posted, Heather? Maybe in
And
the-
we have to have our
First week of January.
art council look at it,
Right.
and away we go.
So if anybody is interested, you can get those comments back to us, say shortly after the first of the year. So we'd have time to come up with a modified draft if changes need to be made. And it can still be on the agenda for January's town board meeting.
So January 3rd.
I would say so too.
Yeah, January
It's
3rd.
easy to remember.
Mhm.
Okay, so any comments by January 3rd would be accepted.
And how can people get that to?
The town hall,
But I
the
think
town
Tim
clerk
brought up a
office,
good idea, having it
Tina.
on our website.
Yeah,
Can we put on our website?
I can put the copies, but we didn't draft the changes, didn't do this, do the changes. Are you talking about redlining it or?
Post it on our website.
Oh.
wasn't this on the agenda on the?
Oh, so just post those. I thought we were talking about red line. That's what I was asking about red line. Just doing, oh, okay. Yes, I can get those on that website.
This is on the people who saw the agenda.
And actually, if they see the
this.
agenda, they see that. It's part,
In the packet.
it's in the packet. So if they look at the meeting, they see
We have a
that.
special one on there where you can just review it in case they didn't look at the
This is gonna be
packet.
a big one, this will be a touchy one.
Yes.
Well, it is
Boy,
out there and it
anything
gets
else
sent
out
out to
there?
everybody on the list too.
There's both sides of it.
Okay.
Okay, we're moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. This is extractive operations. All this is doing is changing the annual fee that we are charging these folks.
Correct.
which is-
I'll make the motion that we increase the fee for the budget, the $5,000 for each mine we have active out here.
And I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, new business. This RCICC meeting, I went to several. I don't know what you guys wanna do with this, but it's a bunch of people trying to impress everybody else, so I'm being very blunt as I usually am. And we're gonna leave it at that for now.
Did you review the comments, Tom? That,
Actually, Tom, he did write a, after the meeting, John Delgrave did write a, email to everybody. And he wants our input as to, basically what he said is, with the rising cost and dwindling volunteer-based service consolidation is critical to the safety and well-being of our residents. Moving forward, please confirm your commitment to participate and at times make the politically difficult decisions regarding the results of third-party analysis, including service consolidation governance by Friday, December 16th. Once we receive these comments, Racine County will engage a third-party consultant and report the progress to date at the next meeting.
Who's paying
That's
for it?
pretty simple.
Racine County is paying up to 75%.
75,000.
I'm good for it if they're paying for it.
Yep, they said they
No,
would
they
pay.
just they want money.
No.
No, they're paying
The
for it.
county's paying for it, but they just want our invested interest.
Yep.
I'll make the motion to look at this, it's just,
Well,
I'll second.
we've already
I'm
started it.
on the county, so I understand how they work.
I'll make the motion that you tell Jonathan that we're not
Interesting.
costing us anything.
Okay.
I'll second.
Well, then we support, that we will
Yes.
support, how was that worded, Doug? That will,
Support.
not just wind up in a drawer.
Yeah, basically, that's what he said. We will make the politically difficult decisions regarding the results of the analysis.
No, that's fine. I
Okay,
mean, it's just, I've just been through it, so anyway. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Last thing I've got, hopefully, I wanted, knowing I was far from mobile on Friday, which I don't even know how I got there and back. but I really appreciated seeing all of the town members and board members and the police and everyone that showed up. I sorry that Kenny and his crew were out plowing snow. But
I think Tina and Heather made sure they got
it
food.
was,
Yes, they did.
I think it was very nice, and I didn't have a chance, and I didn't want to stand up and try to make a speech because I probably couldn't sit back down. But I want to wish all of you Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and have a great time with your family.
Tom,
You too, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Same to you.
yeah, it was very
And your
nice.
family.
It was very nice to see you. We're glad that you made it out.
It was great to see you at the party, Tom.
Anybody else have anything? Otherwise, I'm gonna ask for a adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Whatever the time is.
6:39.
6:39.
Yeah, dang, that's
Thank you, Tom.